I try to explain that he has the stat block ever. A wisdom of 12 is going to tank your will saves and make your casting suck. The chat keeps yelling at me for running a meat grinder. So tell me, TG, which podcast gave him this idea? I want to go on iTunes and report bomb them for my game up. Hey, what's up everybody, it's Sly Pie Guy here. You're gonna take 14 caster damage, unfortunately. If you do manage to get a dexterity saving throw, you do get half of that. But anyway, how are you guys doing? Welcome to another DnDGreentext. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Before jumping into the video, I want to quickly ask you if you want to smash that like button to turn it blue or white or whatever it turns to now. I would really appreciate it, so thank you so much if you do that. And with that being said, please enjoy the video. Anon blames podcasts for his fear of confrontation. Gets wrecked. Podcasts need to be erased. Running Pathfinder 1st edition game, couple of weeks ago, and have a PC dev. He takes the rest of the session to roll up a new hunter, starts working on his shit, and then suddenly looks up. Can I roll a d20 for my stats? I figure our block is pretty generous, 46 drop lowest, so I disagree. The rest of the group pressures me. Figure it's a small thing that I can do to make my players enjoy it more. He gets a natural 20 on the first roll. Table cheers in excitement. He rolls the rest. 7, 3, 12, 6 and 9. Fast forward to yesterday. Second session with the character. The player is, of course, ineffectual in combat, social situations, etc. 20 dexterity can't even save him. Starts and moaning that everything is so focused on optimization. The rest of the group tries to cheer him up. He leaves, seeming upset. Wake up this morning to the group Discord in shambles, with everyone being mad at me for making encounters unfair and pushing numbers over roleplay. I try to explain that he has the stat block ever. A wisdom of 12 is going to tank your will saves and make your casting suck. The chat keeps yelling at me for running a meat grinder. So tell me, TG, which podcast gave him this idea? I want to go on iTunes and report bomb them for my game up. Oh god, that is... Oh. Okay, does anyone know the podcast? Jesus Christ. Also, that was so bad. Like, how do you even consider playing with those stats? You have a 20 and a 12 and everything else is absolutely horrible. I guess the 9 is, you know, a dump stat, a regular dump stat. But then everything else is absolute trash. How do you even consider playing with a stat of 6, 3 and 7, regardless of what stat that is? My hobby? Giving monsters class levels. Be me, DM. Be the party. Harangon Dex Fighter, I guess that's a class, I haven't heard of it. Harangon Rogue, Dwarf Leonine Paladin, and a variant human wizard, all level 3. Running Sunless Citadel. Party discovers the tomb of the Dragon Priest. Inscription on the sarcophagus indicates that the priest was imprisoned for experimenting with heretical magic. The party assumes that a spellcaster is going to pop out of the tomb. So the wizard casts silence over the room. Long story. Party pops the lid and a troll comes out. Wizard says, "Oh, it's not a spellcaster. I can drop silence and do something else." Delightfully devilish that PNG. Gets to the troll's turn. The troll casts Hex. Spend the next 10 rounds hurling eldritch blasts at the party. The wizard is whining about his wasted spell slot the whole time. That's a very nice plot twist for the party. Or I guess for the wizard in particular. Always keep them on their toes, you know, always have them not know what to expect. Actually, there is zero difference between good and bad elves. Stories when the DM torpedoed their own game through stupidity? Be party of neutral and lawful good characters. The story is that 100 years ago, an elf empire tried to conquer the world. They were defeated by an alliance of other races and a truce was established. The elves are now looked upon as evil fascist assholes who had their fangs declawed. Bunch of radical elves attack the town that the party is in and the manor of the local lord. A whole mess of guards are slaughtered, the receptionist love interest of one of the party is killed, and nearby houses are burning. The party goes to track them down. Encounter the elves working with a hag. When they meet, the elves sneer at the party and make fun of the paladin elf trying to redeem their race's history as a traitor and lowlife. The party sorcerer shoots first and fight breaks out. The level 5 party is practically defeated because these are ridiculously overturned, with some of them having PC classes at levels 10. 3 of the party members are pretty much killed and 2 others flee. After the game, players question why the game was so unbalanced. DM: well, you're supposed to talk with them and resolve things without fighting. You don't always have to swing a sword. You wanted us to resolve things peacefully, with a bunch of radical terrorists who attacked an innocent peaceful town and shot on our paladin and was working with a hag? You didn't think a fight was possible, and that the 22 AC elf guy who attacks 3 times around and does 3d8 poison damage a hit, as well as casters using 5th level spells, wasn't overturned. Like, even if we could have resolved things peacefully, you thought that if we chose the fight option, we should just get utterly destroyed by enemies without any warnings or signs that these guys were essentially legendary power level status? DM gets irate when all players unanimously agree that it wasn't well done, and he nukes the server. Oh god, Jesus Christ. I'm just gonna say that was an interesting, number of mental gymnastics from the DM. Let's just try to move on to hopefully more wholesome stories. Cats and dogs living together. Realistically, what's the worst that could happen by allowing 2 bonus actions in one turn? Hexblade becomes ridiculous. Eldritch Blast cannons suddenly have plus 2d6 a shot round 1. Lore bards are doing 6 attacks a round with crossbow expert on. Paladins are smiting on smite spells while preparing a second smite to smite someone in the same turn. Rogue thieves are quad-wielding healer's kits and caltrops. The barbarian has 2 mooks grappled under each arm and 1 between her thighs. None are resisting. Awesome, that is lovely. I particularly appreciate the fact that the meathead barbarian is a she in this case. Why am I going to retire as soon as we save the world? I'm DMing for a group that consists of a lawful good paladin, a chaotic neutral rogue, and a warlock with a deep-in wizard. During the whole campaign, the paladin regularly wrote something down, but nobody cared about it. And only now, when we are close to the end of a year-long game, the warlock asked the paladin about it. So he showed his companions a long list titled, "Why am I going to retire as soon as we save the world?" It consists of many questionable deeds of the rest of the party. Here are some of them. We'll start with the rogue. Had the bag of holding and stuffed it with everything from gems to several shovels. Refused to throw his junk away, insisting that it might be useful. Somehow, it actually was useful a few times. Undefined time before the campaign, he stole a magic ring. He thought he was using it to cast Mage Hand, but it turns out it was the Ring of Telekinesis. Flirted with the warlock in the beginning of the campaign. When he was threatened that he would be eaten alive, his flirting intensified. Nobody wanted to ask him about it. Was given 600 gold pieces and asked to find and buy a black pearl. He came back with the pearl and the magic bow. Later, it turned out that he had stolen both items. The party still doesn't know what he did with the money. Probably blackjack and hookers, right? When was given a chance to ask an aboleth about cosmic truth, asked, "How big is its dick?" Every time he is asked, he comes up with a new backstory. Even the paladin with the Zone of Truth doesn't know the real answer. Despite his love for treasure and money, he had to be persuaded to empty his bag of holding so that the party can take much more from the king, who was foolish enough to say, "Take as much as you can carry." Oh god, that is something you never want to say to a D&D group, do you? Unless you're an evil DM and you know they have a bag of holding and you know they'll abuse it. Or like take as much as they can, literally. And now, Warlock's turn. Says that she actually loves humans, but only if you cook them right. Raised the dead to dance with her at the party, to steer the ship, to perform in the theater, to manually revolve a beacon, and to drag the carriage. Always keeps a bag of bones in case she needs something from the other side of the town but is too lazy to get it. Says that what she's doing with the bodies is alright since she asked them about it. Hurled a man through hell when he asked her to show a scary illusion. Sincerely asked if she can kidnap a princess to resolve a diplomatic conflict, since no princess equals no conflict. Was surprised at the refusal. Refuses to understand why when someone says only over my dead body, she can't actually murder them on the spot. Threatens random people to kill them and eat their soul, and doesn't get why even her own party is sometimes afraid of her. Serves the god of chaos, and when he appears to do something chaotic, is the first one to get annoyed. She strongly disagrees that they are actually very similar. Started peace negotiations with an offer to drop 5 cubic feet of gunpowder on the dissenting side. Nobody liked that idea, so negotiations went much faster. When was asked by a bored noble at the ball to somehow entertain him, she set the random lady's hat on fire. She genially thought that it was funny and didn't get why the lady and her partner panicked. The noble agreed with the warlock for some reason. When she was threatened with beheading, she was frightened not of death, but of the fact that in the morning her neck will hurt. The party still doesn't know if it was just a joke. Together with the rogue, disappeared for the whole day. When they returned, they said that they had converted a pack of gnolls to the cult of chaos. To this day, gnolls were considered animals, and moreover, they have never been found in this area. With a spell scroll, shoved the captive to the demiplane, but didn't think about not being able to open the door again. Pretended to be the god of chaos to fool a hag. After success, she didn't know what to do next because she didn't think it would go this far. So she threw a fireball and ran away. P.S. I actually really love this group and their dynamic. They aren't murder hobos, just sometimes do something that I cannot expect. I have a few other cool stories about this campaign, and maybe I will post them later. Let's hope they do, cause this was a fun read. Group discovers a dungeon. Find the treasure map from a loot pile. Some lost temple in the middle of a jungle ways to the south. Make our way over there with a bunch more adventurers on the way. Follow a river on site, traverse some maze-like cliffs, and negotiate with local tribals. Finally, arrive to the temple ruin. The entrance to the main dungeon is covered by a simple puzzle. Nearby, there's a small library full of religious texts and a much newer diary. The diary curses this place and begs anyone that's come here to leave now lest they bring doom upon themselves. Ignore it, solve the puzzle, and descend. It's cold as balls. Frozen bodies and body parts everywhere. A slight bit of wind from a vast chamber with an immense deep low growl, like the snoring of some mighty beast. Decide to explore a side chamber instead. Come across some charred corpses. It's another group of adventurers that died. Pull the corpses away and start throwing rocks into the corridor from a fair distance. 2 of the tiles explode as 15d6 fireballs. We're level 6 to 8. Beyond the corridor, there's a small room with silver regalia completely untouched. And also an empty archway leading straight to the big room. Try to approach the loot and hear the growling become stronger. This. Grab the magical gear off the corpses and bail. They had a portable hole, elven chainmail, a ring, and a couple of potions. So it was still worth it. You know, at least they made the right decision in the end. Alright, on that note, we're gonna end the video here, so if you've made it this far, please consider leaving a like if you enjoyed it, or dislike if you didn't. Subscribe for more if you haven't already. Also, big thank you to everyone supporting the channel on Patreon, I really appreciate it, so thank you so much for the support given there. Links below if you wanna check it out, as well as links to the social media, Discord server, subreddit, anything else. And yeah, that's it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day, bye!